Good evening. Today is day 116, and today we're going to read 2 Samuel 23 through 24, Luke chapter 19, 1 through 27. Right now, I'm officially about 16 days behind. The way it looks now, I'll probably catch up later, or I may not exactly finish on December 31st. In a week and a half from now, I'll be going to Las Vegas for a job-related event. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably take my computer and then I'll read that way and just save it some kind of way. But I'll work it out. My little laptop does have a video thing on it, but we'll see. And I know they're talking about going out and doing the company thing. I think I go out with them a couple of times, but that ain't my thing. I got family there. Probably try to see them. I'll probably go out and hang out with them a couple of times, but not a big drinker, not a big partier. But I will try to hang out and at least talk to them, laugh, joke around, get to know them a little bit. Since for the most part we work out of our house. This is my office. Just happens to be in my home. And it is my job. So, well, by the way, I think I told you I do computer consulting. But point is, I'm going to try to read then. Maybe I'll do a lot of catching up then. Maybe I won't be so distracted with everything else. And I can do a lot more reading then. I don't know if I'll do 18 days of it. But should be able to get something done. Or when I do travel, depending on the logistics of it, maybe I won't do any reading at all, but we'll see. At any rate, unless I catch up, and I can probably catch up pretty easy just by doing 2 a days, and that's my plan anyway, because I wanted to finish sometime around at least about 3 months before the end of the year. I got a lot of things I want to do based off long-term goals, so I would love to finish this ahead of time, which would be great. I just need to get into the habit of doing it. Once I do that, then I should be okay. Just hard for me to start a habit. Trying to make this a habit, so I read every day, and it's been a blessing so far. So just need to make it a habit to read twice a day. So we'll see. Anyway, 2 Samuel chapter 23. Now these be the last words of David. David, the son of Jesse, said that the man who was raised up on high, the anointed of the God of Jacob, and the sweet psalmist of Israel said, the Spirit of the Lord spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. The God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me, that he ruleth over men must be just. Spake to me, he that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God. And he should be as the light of the morning, when the sun riseth, even a morning without clouds, as the tender grass springing out of the earth by clear shining after rain. Although my house be not so with God, yet he hath made with me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things and sure. For this is all my salvation and all my desire, although he made it not to grow. But the sons of Belial should be all of them as thorns thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands. But the man that should touch them must be fenced with iron and the staff of a spear, and they should be utterly burned with fire in the same place. These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachamonite that sat in the seat, chief among the captains, the same was Adino the Iznite, who he lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time. And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo the Ahohite, one of the 3 mighty men with David, when they defied the Philistines that were there gathered together to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword. And the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. And after him was Shema, the son of Agi, the Hararite, and the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils. And the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. And 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam, and the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in an old and garrison of in that hole, and the garrison of the Philistine was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it, and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, but poured it out unto the Lord. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Lord, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in jeopardy of their lives?" Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among 3. And he lifted up the spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among 3. Was he not most honorable of 3? Therefore he was their captain. Howbeit he attained not unto the first 3. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in the time of snow. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man. An Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with the staff, and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and slew him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among the 3 mighty men. And he was more honorable than the 30, but he attained not of the first 3, and David set him over his guard. Asahel, the brother of Joab, was one of the 30. Elhanan, the son of Dodo of Bethlehem. Shammah the Harodite, Elika the Harodite, Helaz the Peltite, Ira the son of Ikesh the Tekoite, Abiezer the Nethalite, Mebunai the Hashuthite, Zaman the Ahohite, Maharai the Nephathite, Helab the son of Benai, a Netephatite, Ittai the son of Ribai, out of Gibeah of the children of Benjamin, Benai the Paratonite, Hiddai of the brooks of Gash, Abi-Elbon the Arbathite, Asmaveth the Berhamite, Eliabah the Shalbonite, of the sons of Jashin, Jonathan, Shammon the Harahite, Aham the son of Sharah the Harahite, Eliphalet the son of Ahashbai, the son of the Maacathite, Eliam the son of Ahaphathite, the Gilonite, Hezrah the Carmelite, Perai the Arbite, Egal the son of Nathan of Zobai, Benai the Gedite, Zelag the Ammonite, Neharai the Beerothite, armor-bearer to Joab the son of Zeruiah, Ira and Ithrite, Garab and Ithrite, Uriah the Hittite, 30 in all. Chapter 24. And again the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, and he moved David against them to say, "Go, number Israel and Judah." For the king said to Joab, the captain of the host, which was with him, "Go now through all the tribes of Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, the number ye shall, and number ye the people, that I may know the number of the people." And Joab said unto the king, "Now the Lord thy God add unto the people how many soever they be, an hundredfold, and that the eyes of my lord the king may see it. But why doth my lord the king delight in this thing?" Notwithstanding, the king's word prevailed against Joab and against the captains of the host. And Joab and the captains of the host went out from the presence of the king to number the people of Israel. And they passed over Jordan and pitched in Aroer, on the right side of the city that lieth in the midst of the river of Gad, and toward Jazer. Then they came to Gilead and to the land of Tathshemish, Tatim Hodshi, and they came to Danjan and about to Zidon, and came to the stronghold of Tyre, and to all the cities of the Hivites and of the Canaanites. And they went out to the south of Judah, even to Beersheba. So when they had gone through all the land, they came to Jerusalem at the end of 9 months and 20 days. And Joab gave up the sum of the number of the people unto the king, and there were in Israel 800,000 valiant men that drew the sword, and the men of Judah were 500,000 men. And David hard smote him after that he had numbered the people. And David said unto the Lord, I have sinned greatly in that I have done. And now I beseech thee, O Lord, take away the iniquity of thy servant, for I have done very foolishly. But even David was up in the morning. The word of the Lord came unto the prophet Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and say unto David, Thus saith the Lord, I offer thee 3 things. Choose thee one of them, that I may do it unto thee. So Gad came to David and told him, and said unto him, Shall 7 years of famine come unto thee in thy land, or wilt thou flee 3 months before thy enemies, while they pursue thee, or that there be 3 days pestilence in thy land? Now advise, and see what answer I shall return to him that sent me. And David said unto Gad, I am in a great strait, let us fall now into the hand of the Lord, for his mercies are great, and let me not fall into the hand of man. So the Lord sent a pestilence upon Israel from the morning even to the time appointed, and there died of the people from Dan even to Beersheba 70,000 men. And when the angel stretched out his hand upon Jerusalem to destroy it, the Lord repented him of the evil, and said to the angel that destroyed the people, It is enough. Stay now thine hand. And the angel of the Lord was by the threshing place of Araunah the Jebusite. David spake unto the Lord when he saw the angel that smote the people, and said, Lo, I have sinned, and I have done wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, be against me and against my father's house. And Gad came that day to David and said unto him, Go up, rear an altar unto the Lord in the threshing floor of Araunah the Jebusite. And David, according to the saying of Gad, went up as the Lord commanded. And Araunah looked and saw the king and his servants coming on toward him. And Araunah went out and bowed himself before the king on his face upon the ground. And Araunah said, Wherefore is my lord the king come to his servant? And David said, To buy the threshing floor of thee, to build an altar unto the Lord, and the plague may be stayed from the people. And Araunah said unto David, Let my lord the king take and offer up what seemeth good unto him. Behold, here be oxen, a burnt sacrifice, and threshing instruments, and other instruments of the oxen for wood. All these things did Araunah as a king give unto the king. And Araunah said unto the king, The Lord thy God accept thee. And the king said unto Araunah, Nay, but I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offerings unto the Lord my God, of that which doth cost me nothing. So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. And David built there an altar unto the Lord, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. So the Lord was entreated for the land, and the plague was stayed from Israel. Luke chapter 19, verse 1 through 27. And Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. And he sought to see Jesus, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was of little stature. And he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him, and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide at thy house. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. Verse 7. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was going to be guest with a man that is a sinner. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold. And Jesus said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for so much as he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear. He said, Therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them £10, and said unto them, Occupy till I come. But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, We will not have this man to reign over us. And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, and that he might know how much every man had gained by trading. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, Be thou also over 5 cities. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound which I have kept laid up in a napkin. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him, Out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury? And he said unto them that stood by, Take from him the pound, and give it to him that had 10 pounds. And they said unto him, Lord, he had 10 pounds. For I say unto you that unto every one that had shall be given, and from him that had not, even that he had shall be taken away from him. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.